What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to 2GLZ Garage. Yesterday my oil return fitting finally arrived in the mail, as you guys seen on my Instagram. If you have me on Instagram, I'll put it right here. If you don't have me, you're missing out on a ton of content that you guys just go check it out. We have to put this on the truck, hook up the oil return fitting, and hook up the downpipe. We have a lot of work to do, but the point is, by the end of this video, Tina should be started up and running. I have to do an oil change to her. I have to also change my oil filter. This is the oil that I use, Schaefer 20W50 racing engine oil. Here you see I have a power adder. It's my intake pipe for my air filter, but I'm still missing my coupler from 4.5 inch from the turbo inlet to 4 inch, to which is the size of this pipe. On this side of the table you can see I have my downpipe and some stainless steel braided line. This is for my oil return and for my water line that I have left to run. And I'm also going to be heat wrapping the downpipe, which is why you see over here I have heat wrap. The first thing I have to do is drain all the oil out of the truck so I can do my oil return fitting. And after I finish the oil return fitting, then we can change the oil. You'll add the fresh oil and stuff, change the filter. I already got the oil draining, as you can see, streaming down. Honestly, it looks pretty dirty, probably because of how hot it got and how restricted the turbo was. So it's a good thing I'm changing it. This is where the oil return goes, right into the side of the oil pan. I need to remove the oil return hose. So you can see here is the old bunk oil return. This thing has served us for quite a long time and it did us pretty damn well. I actually need to put on the oil return fitting first on the turbo so I can hook up the hose and see exactly the length I'm going to need for the oil return line. So I ran into an issue where the oil return hose is too small for the bung that is on the oil pan. This line is just not flexible at all and it will not let me slide it into there. So I have to use the stuff that I used before. Since this doesn't have the braided line around it, I should be able to slide it over top of that bung easier. So I finished hooking up the oil return line. If you guys look, it goes all the way down to the bottom. I still gotta tighten up that clamp on there to make sure that thing is sealed and secured. After I put that on, I started doing my water line. You can see I got my water line hooked up. I got the clamp on it, that way it does not come off. Make sure everything is nice and tight, and this side is good as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and tighten up that clamp, and then I'll put the oil drain plug back on. As you guys know, I love to use K&N on all of my vehicles, and this is exactly what I'm going to be using on the 22RE as well. So we gotta add some oil in this thing, get some oil in that ring, put this in place, and then add oil to the engine. Our new oil filter, looking brand new, nice and clean. That red anodized, it looks so nice. Now we're ready to add some engine oil, and I just remembered I also need to add engine coolant because I drained all the coolant. Alright, now we can fill it up with coolant. Got it in this 5-gallon bucket too. This is the old coolant that I had in there before. Technically, I can start the truck right now and start priming the system, but before I do any of that, I'm gonna wanna put the downpipe in. Before I can put the downpipe in, I have to wrap it. So I'm gonna go ahead and start doing the heat wrap. I'll probably throw up a quick time lapse of me wrapping it up, and you guys will see exactly what I do. It's pretty straightforward. What is recommended when doing this heat wrap stuff is gloves. So you can see I have just that. Since this is titanium wrap, I do not need water. This is much more flexible than the other stuff. So we should be able to do this without submerging it in water. When you start it, you want to fold it down just like that. And then you want to put this side towards the headers or the downpipe, whatever you're wrapping. Yano's gonna help me grab it and pull it tight. Gonna fold it in half just like how we did when we started it, so that it ends nicely too. You can see how it looks. I put 2 here, that way I get 1 on each side of the end. Cut the fibers on the bottom and put the strap on the bottom. It looks pretty freaking nice, to be honest. Alright, so I'm connecting the battery back on. We have to disconnect the ignition. I'll do that right now. Just pull this off right here. Oh shoot. Pull it off the whole rubber. There you go. You slide this back in. That was a little fail. Alright, if I show you guys what's going on now, I just put the clamps on the intercooler piping. It does look all nasty and bunky right now. I will make it look nice and pretty later, but for now I just want to get this thing primed and cranked. I need to let it run for about 5, maybe 10 minutes with the new turbo. That way everything can prime, and then I also let the engine run. It hasn't been ran in about 2-3 months. Probably not that long, but you know, it's been a while. I just want to make sure there's no leaks, no nothing. Okay, so I'm gonna try to hold the light, record, and point for you guys. I took out the intake pipe, the pipe going into the throttle body. That's the one with that extra blow-off valve that I told you guys I wanted to delete. The reason why I took it off now is because if you look at my oil cooler lines, they were running right through there, and they were on the other side of this pipe, just like that. And if you look in there, it was kinking my hose, the oil return hose. So if I bring it out this side, it doesn't kink it no more. Now it's straight, no more kinks. So that's exactly what I want. I don't want that oil to be restricted whatsoever. Now that I have the pipe off, I'm gonna see if I have any extra pipe so I can put the pipe there. Here's the pipe right here, and there's the extra blow-off valve. As you guys can see, it's just a pretty simple J pipe. Got this vacuum leak. Yeah. If you guys heard from the footage, I did have a little vacuum leak from where my brake booster port is at. This is my brake booster, the check valve for the vacuum. Since I don't have my brake booster anymore, I can just cap that off. So I just went ahead and deleted the whole check valve and the hose going here, and I just put the cap straight onto the thing, whatever you want to call it. I forget exactly what it's called. This thing is looking pretty freaking clean. Look at that, look at how much room I have. Just not having a brake booster there, like, it's gonna make working on the turbo so much easier. Like, look at that, that looks amazing. It looks so nice and clean. I can't get over this. Look at that Turbo Smart 38mm wastegate. This thing is so beautiful. My exhaust in the back of the V-clamp is leaking water. I thought what was leaking was water, and it turned out it was oil coming out of the rear housing. As you guys know, this is a brand new turbo, so it was very weird that it was leaking. So I reached out to Reggie over at Turbonetics, and thankfully he answered the phone today. It is Sunday, so I hate to bother him on the weekend. He was asking about my oil return. I sent him pictures of my oil return fitting, and he's telling me that it's too restrictive. I need to take that thing off as soon as possible. He doesn't even know why people sell it. It's a piece of crap, he says, and he's basically telling me that the oil return is too restrictive, so I need to get that fixed ASAP before I'd even run it anymore. So I have this oil return laying around for the Cummins diesel trucks, and I'm gonna try to make this work for my turbocharger. This hole is much larger than the existing one now. I'm gonna try to cut it right here in the edge so I can slip a hose on. I'll have this starting, and then I'll go to a hose. So I'm gonna try to cut this as flat as possible, and I should be able to fit my 5/8 hose over top. Hopefully we can make this work. You can see just how small that hole is compared to the size of the square in the turbo. The one I'm going to be putting on, it's the same size as that square. Way bigger than the circle that's there now. After so long, we're officially done. The new oil return line is officially on. You can see it going all the way down. I ended up using a bigger hose, and I had to use the double clamps like I was using previously. And you can just see how much more cleaner it is. This tubing right here, that right there is my oil return going all the way down. And it connects to that hose down there. I wiped down all the oil that was shot out everywhere around the bay and on the manifold. So now Yano's getting ready to start it up. No smoke. It is probably going to smoke because of all the oil that leaked on the manifold, so it's going to probably burn all that off. next thing that I'm gonna do is the intercooler before I go tuning, and I also have to do the transmission seal, like I've been saying for quite a while now. Stay tuned for those videos coming up soon, and stay tuned for the dyno video. Hopefully this week I'm gonna talk to my tuner and see what his schedule is and see where he can put us. I put the guard back on, that way no bugs or nothing goes in. Meanwhile, I get the filter, but she's set. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I hope you guys are excited just as I am. If you guys haven't subscribed already, click that subscribe button and hit the post notifications button so you know when I'm gonna post that dyno video. I got a lot of exciting stuff coming for this. Not only this, the Z as well. I ordered something recently that is going to make it look a lot crazier. Sneak peeks. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.